So by now we've had a look at addition, subtraction, and multiplication of polynomials. We're now going to look at dividing polynomials, and the way that we do this is through long division. I'm going to go through a normal, just a numerical example first, and then we'll go to the long division of polynomials, just to get you into the rhythm and to see how we just use normal long division as a bit of a refresher. Okay, so I've got 63 multiplied by 4 here. I'm just doing a multiplication problem first to show you how we multiply, and then we'll go through division. So let's just look at 63 times 4. The way I'm going to do this is just by writing it with the normal algorithm that we normally use. So it'll now be 3 times 4, that's going to give us 12. And now it's 6 times 4, that's going to give us 24. But we're going to add that extra 1 on the end, so that's 25. So I know that 63 times 4, that's going to give me 252. I can work my way backwards and say the opposite. I can say 252 divided by 63, that will give me 4. Or 252 divided by 4 will give me 63. And I'm going to prove that with the long division. So let's go ahead and write it. 252 divided by 4. I know for a fact it'll give me 63. So let's just go ahead and do it for the sake of using the algorithm or the step-by-step process, and we use the same step-by-step process for long division of polynomials. So we use an acronym, or I use it, it's called Don't Miss the Bus, and it stands for divide, multiply, take away, and then bring down. So you work your way from the top to the bottom, and then you reset and go back up to the top again, and you just keep going until you get an answer. All right, so here's how you use it. So first up, we're going to divide. So how many 4s go into 2? Well, you can't do that, so it's now going to be how many 4s go into 25? And that would be 6, right? Because 4 times 6 is 24. So that's the maximum amount of 4s that can fit into 25. So we've done our divide. We're now going to move on to multiply. So 4 times 6 is 24. So you write your answer below. We've now done our multiply. We're now going to go to take away. So 25 take away 24. That's going to give us 1. We've now taken away. We're now going to go to bring down. Bringing down requires bringing down the next number that you haven't divided down below. So we're going to bring that 2 all the way down here. And we have a new number now. We've got 12. We've now brought down, we go back up to the top and start our process again. So how many 4s go into 12? Well, that's 3. And there's no remainders, so we don't have to continue. That's it. So as I said, how many 4s go into 252? The answer is 63. So that's the process. That's the way that we do it. I'm going to go ahead and do the same process for this polynomial here. Now, what are we going to choose to divide x squared plus 6x plus 9 by? Well, what I'll do is I'm going to factorize this expression first into 2 factors, and then I'm going to divide this x squared plus 6x plus 9 by one of those factors, and that'll give me, and then I'll know what the answer is. It'll just be the other factor that I found. So let's factorize first. This is not part of long division of polynomials. I'm just going to factorize to get some factors first, and then we'll use those factors to divide. So factorizing a regular polynomial, we multiply an expression where a is 1. We just multiply the coefficient of a by c. So ac equals 1 times 9, which equals 9. And now we're looking for factors of ac, so factors of 9 that add to the coefficient of b, which is positive 6, okay? So factors of 9 that add to positive 6. Well, if we do 1 times 9, that's a factor of 9, but does that add up to 6? Does 1 plus 9 equal 6? No, it adds to 10, so that can't possibly be it. I reckon it's 3 times 3. Yeah, 3 times 3, let me fix that 3 up. 3 times 3 is 9, that's good, and it also satisfies the rule of having to add to the coefficient of b, and it does, because 3 plus 3, that equals 6. That's what we want. So writing our answer as 2 factors, we write x plus 3 x plus 3. So I know that if I multiply x plus 3 by x plus 3, I will get x squared plus 6x plus 9. That's a fact. So what I can do is I can use this to boost my explanation here and go, well, if I divide x squared plus 6x plus 9 by x plus 3, okay, let me fix that x up again, sorry, x plus 3, my answer, which I'll write in green up here, should also be x plus 3, okay? Because x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3 gives me x squared plus 6x plus 9. So what I'll do is I'll use this x plus 3 as my divisor or my divisor, and we should know the answer. So I'll quickly just write the answer at the top here, x plus 3. Just keep that in the back of your mind. That's the answer that we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and just shrink all this other working down, and I'll keep it on the page for you to have a look at. So we'll just resize this to make it a little bit smaller, and we'll just chuck it down over in the corner there. All right, let's get back to my normal color. All right, and we'll use the same don't miss the bus acronym to divide x squared plus 6x plus 9 by x plus 3. Let's go ahead and do that now. All right, now one thing that I want you to recognize is the difference in this problem is that we now have two terms that we're dividing by. Now, it's a little bit hard here. It's a little bit complicated, especially when I'm trying to explain this. But if you can imagine, well, x is a variable. We don't know what x is. Now, that's really quite a powerful thing to say, because x could be, say, 1,000,000, could be in negative 1,000, it could be a quarter. And so we assume that this x, we just make an assumption that this x is much more important mathematically than this little positive 3, because this x could be 1,000,000. And if it is, then it's going to really weigh into the answer much more than just positive 3. So when we divide this expression by x plus 3, we only divide by x. The positive 3 still comes into play, but only when we're multiplying. Okay, so in this multiplying step, we do multiply by positive 3 as well, but when we're dividing, we only divide by x. Let's see how this works, okay? So we'll just go through step by step. All right, so step 1, we're going to divide. So instead of dividing by x plus 3, we just divide by x. I'll underline this just so we know we're always dividing by x. So step 1, how many x's go into x squared? Or in other words, x times what makes x squared? And that's x. So I'll write my answer here, x. Now I would recommend that you write your x not above the x squared, because they're not in the same, I suppose, placement system. We're going to put the x there. Notice how the x is in line with the x below. Okay, that's how we do that. All right, so we've just divided. We're now going to multiply. That's our next step. And remember, we can multiply x and positive 3 by x. And what do you get? So let's do this. X times x, that gives us x squared. And x times positive 3 gives us positive 3x. Our next step, take away. So x squared plus 6x, take away x squared plus 6x, that should just give us 3x. All right, now that we've taken away, we're going to bring down. Well, we just bring down the next number that we haven't used below. So now we have 3x plus 9. We've done that. Now we've finished off our whole process. We're going to go back up to the top and start again with dividing. So dividing, remember we only use the variable here. So how many x's go into 3x? Or in other words, x times what makes 3x? That's positive 3. So you write positive 3. We've done our divide. Now it's time to multiply. So positive 3 times x gives us 3x. And positive 3 times 3 gives us positive 9. We've now multiplied. We're going to take away. So 3x plus 9, take away 3x plus 9, Well, that's just going to give us nothing, or 0. We've now completed our problem. And look at that. X squared plus 6x plus 9 divided by x plus 3 is x plus 3. And that is exactly what we predicted, because we know x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3 does give us x squared plus 6